This is Group K. This is our presentation for Project 5.4.
So for our overview of the memo, we thought that Black Panther needed some kind of distant range weapon, since his only weapon in the original movie was vibranium claws and his suit. So we came up with an idea, Ikonkani, the King. It's a transformation movie that has combined with spear, a shield, and a bow and arrow. This not only gives Black Panther a power to attack enemies from distant range, it also gives him more power to show his moves inside of a movie. So for our concept, we made a weapon, Ikonkani, a transformation weapon that can be used in various types of combat situations. It has its African culture inside the weapons, as the others, like the shields, we have the African symbols, and the spears has its African original materials. We also made special sensor gloves that can only be used by the owner, since the Killmonger, one of the enemies in the movie, stole Black Panther's suit so easily, so that Black Panther was in danger. For our predisposition, we thought we need some kind of unique and different weapons that can show a different style of combat and his power into the movie. So for our research, we had primary and secondary research on Black Panther. We did an interview with a fellow student who is deeply in love with the Black Panther movie and its comics. We asked him various questions about the designs of the weapons, the culture of Wakanda, and how Black Panther movie storyline goes. Some of the things that he thought there might be some changes is that Black Panther only have distant combat weapons and doesn't have any weapons or protections on far range attacks. This is why we thought that bow and arrow might be a good way to put it in a weapons for the Black Panther to use, because it's a good way to shoot distant ranged combat. For our secondary research, we gathered a lot of information and articles about Black Panther, and we found out that African culture is deeply based on the Wakanda society, so that we use these cultures to based on of our weapon, Ikonkani. So for our prototype, as we mentioned earlier, we create a transformed weapon, Ikonkani, that can transform into spear, shield, and a bow. This made Black Panther to attack in various ways, and then it made it possible for him to show his power more inside the movie. For our strategies, there are two parts. First, for technical strategies, we thought that Wakanda has enough scientific knowledge and the power of vibranium to create this weapon, Ikonkani. For our business strategy, first of all, we're gonna make a video clip using Black Panther using our new weapon, Ikonkani, and then upload it all over the SNS using Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. This is going to help people to recognize the new weapon and then getting fame of the Black Panther. Second, we're going to make action figures and toys for teenagers of our new weapon, Ikonkani and Black Panther. This is going to make teenagers recognize the new weapons and then make it popular over people who love the movie of Black Panther. Lastly, we can use the movie review blogs like Rotten Tomatoes to get comments and thoughts from the users.
So we came up with this prototype called Ikonkani, and it means the king in Wakanda language. This spear is originated from the previous king, T'Chaka, and Black Panther uses this spear to fight against the villains. And we choose the spear as a form of our weapon because spears represent the native African culture. And whenever Black Panther puts his ring into a spear tip, the laser comes out that penetrates everything. So for our prototype Ikonkani, it can be transformed into a shield, and that is a vibranium energy shield, which means it can absorb every impact coming at it, and it can also extract the power from it. So here's the front, back, and side picture of the shield. And we implemented the native African art into our shield design, considering the cultural background of the Black Panther.
Our third design is a microcognitive sensor gloves. This gloves is pretty much allows the concepts to be activated properly. We put the fingerprint recording inside of gloves. If the user's fingerprint matches with our pre-assigned the owner's fingerprint, the glove will activate it. And the reason that we put fingerprint inside of gloves is to protect the privacy, and also from the first movie of Black Panther, Black Panther's brother stole the Black Panther's suit, and we thought we need some kind of protection from the stealing.
So considering that Black Panther is only specialized in close combat, we thought he needs some weapon for ranged attack. So we came up with this bow. And this bow is transformed from spear by twisting the Wakanda orb. And when it's twisted, the spear separates itself into three parts and it becomes into the form of bow. And this bow is made of the vibranium power, so it contains unlimited vibranium energy. So as we mentioned before, this bow only can be activated when touched with a special glove. And because of the Black Panther ring installed at the spear tip, vibranium bowstring becomes visualized. And since it's a pure power, it can be easily attached and unattached from the glove. And because the bow arrow is made out of vibranium energy, it's unlimited until the energy drops to zero.
So for the research part of our project, we did a usability test on 3 different kinds of people. Someone that's good at comics, someone with Marvel, and just a common person. And with James Allen, he is the Marvel person. And he basically saw the item, he thought it was really good. He liked the concept of 3 weapons in the one, but he thought it was a little bit overpowering and that the combat wouldn't be as fun to watch.
For our second usability test, we interviewed somebody that was a comic book enthusiast. He was worried that our design was too complex unless it ended up being the centerpiece of the movie. He really enjoyed that the weapon was a relic of T'Chaka, and it added a special feel to the weapon.
For our third and final usability test, we asked someone named Matt Callahan. He's basically just like your average Joe person. He just kind of knows like when new movies kind of come out, we'll go see them just like any other like normal person would. So like in this usability test, we ended up asking him a series of questions about like his thoughts, his feedbacks, and just like his opinion on like the overall like tool and weapon and like what it can really do for the movie. But in the end, Matt said he liked our concept. He's never really seen this like type of concept before in a movie that he's seen. The few things that he had like concerns with were just like how the concept can kind of get a little bit too confusing at times, but like overall, he says it can bring in a new crowd because no one has ever seen this like tool used like in any movie like before.
In conclusion, our test subjects really liked the idea of a weapon being the centerpiece of the movie. They also really enjoyed the fact that the weapon was a relic of T'Chaka. However, they were concerned that the weapon was too complex or too powerful and could overwhelm opponents and make fight scenes not as intriguing.